Welcome to Marty and Shane, Lifted and Twisted. Stories without borders, joy without limits. This is where hearts meet across culture and everyday life becomes a story worth telling. I'm Shane.
And I'm Marty. Welcome, guys. So, the last episode we put out there was a beautiful mama. Her name was Tamika, and I met her at a Goodwill store, and we just got to talking. And what really struck me was she was really a strong woman, and we all want to help each other be stronger. And I love just any way I can sharing anything I can with people to empower women, especially empower anyone, but because we have a lot more power than what we realize. And Tamika really was given, and I think sometimes, honestly, and Shane, you and I have talked about this before. I think sometimes God gives us situations to make us stronger. Those of you that have watched Tamiko, and if you haven't already, you should go and watch it. It's really a story about a girl that um, lost her mother at a very young age, and she went through a lot of stuff that wasn't pleasant, but she became a mother. And so it's really a beautiful story. And what it really says to me is don't ever give up, and you can get through so much. And if you just realize that it's just making you stronger, and I mean, to me, when you have God, you have that ability to be able to work your way through things that seem completely impossible. And Shane, maybe you can share too what it meant when you heard Tamiko's story.
I mean, after hearing her story, I was really emotional. That's why I didn't talk most of the time because I was just crying. But what really touched me was the fact that for all the negative events that had happened in her life, she not one point of her finger said it's this person's fault, that person's fault, or whatever the
Mm.
situation's fault. And for me to hear that, it really shows how strong of an individual she is. Okay,
Mm.
this event happened in my life. Okay, and I lived through that. I'm going to move on. Right. And she got herself help. And with her living situations ever since she was little, she lost her mother at such a young age. I thought losing my mom at the age of 30 was the most horrible thing ever.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine for a child losing their mother at that age.
Yes.
And so, yeah, she's so strong and she really had shown that nothing can knock you down. Okay. If you have the will to improve yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, the whole time I was at the institute that I worked with, and we would be meeting people every week, new people that came onto the program. It's those that have the strongest will, no matter what they've been told. They could have been told they're going to die in 6 weeks, and they are not ready to go. And they have a strong will, and they're going to overcome whatever it is. And I've seen things that I wouldn't believe if I did not see them. So I know how strong that will is that we have. It's really our strongest thing that we have in our body. And yes, she definitely had that. And it's so easy to blame everybody and everything on what your circumstances are. But when you get into that victim mode, it doesn't really empower you at all. As a matter of fact, it takes the power away, right? So, yeah, when you can really tap into that will to live or will to accomplish or will to overcome or, will to do and fight, that is the strongest thing that's hard to have anything be able to be stopped. If you have a will to do something, it's going to happen. And that's so beautiful to see. And that's such an important message. And I hope that all of you viewers have been able to look at that and see the message of all the strength and the character that it built in her as she moved through, everything that she had to live through. So, and I'm sure that we all can relate to that in some way. And yes, our stories are all different. around that. And we would love for you to share your story with us because I think sharing it is not only a benefit for you to be able to share it, because, one of the things I've noticed with Tamiko since we have done that interview with her, Shane, is she's stronger. Every time I go in, because when I drive by there and I stop to just to say hello or I bring her a little treat or something, I can see with her sharing that with us, it just made her conviction even more strong than it was. So being able to share that with us, all of the viewers, it really will help that. And it will help everybody be able to listen to it and learn from it and grow because of it. So
Yes,
I encourage everyone to do that.
definitely. I mean, it's with what had happened to her, it's not something that's easy to talk about, right? And you have to be at a certain, I guess, strong mindset levels in order to talk about what had happened to you because that means it's done and over with, you know? And so, yeah, I'm really proud of her. And I really wish I could be there in person just to meet her and just feel her positive energy, that she's passing on right now. Because even looking through the camera, I don't sense any negativity from her. So I think that that says a lot about a person and about,
Yeah, that's true. And I do think that there are a lot of people caught up in the anger mode of things because they are blaming other people. And it's not really until we take on that responsibility that our life right now, wherever we are, wherever the listeners are right now in your life, wherever that is, you've created that. You've created that. Now, when you're a child, okay, at 9 years old and you lose your mom, no, you didn't create that. But once you get to be older as an adult and you're making choices, and each of those choices is creating your life. Each of those choices that we all have made has created us to be exactly where we are right now. So the question really becomes, what do you want more in your life? And what do you want less? Because we can create that. We have that ability right here, right now, today, to create more of what we want and less of what we don't want. So I hope that empowers you because that is indeed what we're here to do. We're here to connect with people, to hear their stories, and really empower each one of us to know that because there's so many things in the world right now that are taking us away from our power. Because I think this also is something that some of you viewers could really relate to, and it has to do with our sailing community here in West Palm Beach. So I think that could be the next episode. How do you feel about that, Shane?
I would love that, honestly. I don't know much about the sailing community, and I think there's a lot for me to learn. And it is, I think it would be nice for you to share what you have gone through and maybe the things that you guys are doing right now currently to not fix, but then to make things better or how to move on, things like that.
Yeah, I want to share it with because I think what has taken place here is going to affect definitely the whole state of Florida, but it could affect the whole East Coast of the US because it's counties at one at a time that's going to implement things that affects us. So we can talk about that more. So, yeah, I'm excited to share because I hope that again that it helps to and it's really about education. Now that we have and technically I feel like we're in this information war to some degree because there's so much information online and what information online is really the truth and really not. And that is for us to discern. And oftentimes I get that through God. And when I really am saying, okay, God, guide me. Is this really true? And how should I take this in or should I let this go? And oftentimes people aren't used to talking to God like that, but God is our best friend. Okay. God has created us. So I always tell people go to God, ask for guidance, ask for clarity, ask for strength, ask for courage. And yesterday I was doing a lot of that because I needed to. So, guys, for those of you that didn't listen to Tamika, I would love for you to go listen to it and let us know how you feel. Let us know how it affected you. Let us know what your story is. And, I'll end with remember, wherever you are in the world, we want your story to be heard and we want your joy to be unlimitless. Okay, guys? Love you.